Yeah, so we are covering the first match of the tournament. It is Vivacity versus Misanthropy. Now, I'm quite familiar with Vivacity, seeing these guys play a ton in both Domination and Diffuse, but I don't really know a lot about Misanthropy. Can you tell me anything about them, Brett? Do you know anything about these guys, or are they a wild card for you as well?
Never heard of them whatsoever. Both of these teams are kind of unknown in terms of me watching them a whole lot. I've seen a couple of matches from Vivacity. From the Diffuse, I've seen a couple other matches from the Domination stuff, but for the most part, I haven't really watched either of them. I do know that Vivacity is a very good team. I know that for CEVO that they've pretty much gone undefeated right now, and for previous level BF cups, they've done fairly well for themselves, making up into the middle part of the bracket. So I don't know. I know Vivacity is going to be a very solid team. It's going to be up to was it Misanthropy? Is that what
Misanthropy, that is correct. Correct pronunciation.
It's going to be up to them to really see what we're going to be having out of this.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the first round map. It will be on Lancang Dam, and it's always an interesting breakout on this map, isn't it, Brett?
It is. It is a...
it's a bit non-traditional compared to most maps, wouldn't you say?
Well, I mean, compared to Battlefield 4 maps, it's completely traditional and of the norm. Yeah, right off the bat here on Dam, and are we live on this one, or is this not live?
It looks like they're live. We're going to treat it like it's live.
Believe we are live. So on this one right here, it's a little bit different because of those spawn situations like we just saw. Vivacity, I believe, sent two guys just to shoot across the map over there towards Misanthropy, going towards C flag, and trying to get a couple of picks just to slow them down a little bit. And normally what you would see is that the Russian team would end up grabbing C and B first, while the Chinese team would only get A. But in this case, it looks like they were able to do their job, slow them down quite a bit, and push them on off of the B flag here. Now, it looks like we're getting quite a few trades over here onto B flag, and it's still going to be held in Vivacity's favor. But, a nice spot here by Psyched, who's actually sitting back behind the C flag back there, able to do a lot of damage. And still going to be pushed back, though, here by Vivacity.
It's the nice little two-piece we were watching from Powell's perspective. I believe he is Vivacity's captain. Now we're watching from Epic 3D, who does take down Cheetos. Let's see what weapon he was running. Up, he's down. I think it was the FAMAS, although I'm not sure there. We're now watching from Osti's perspective. He does take down one, and they are trying to hold fast here on the Bravo flag. It is burning, but they're going to move in quickly to hopefully contest this and hold on to it. This is actually a pretty good hold by Vivacity to start this round. They're off to roughly a 30-ticket lead already as Osti takes down Cheetos but goes down in offices. We're now watching from Knifey's perspective, who formerly played for Swoosh. Looks like he is playing for Vivacity in this tournament.
Yeah, and as we saw right there, they basically just switched B for C flag. Powell did a really great job of recognizing, hey, they got a 5-man spawn over here onto B flag. I might as well go take their back flag, and that's exactly what he did. One of the things that a lot of teams are having trouble transitioning from older Battlefield games to this one is the fact that you don't have to keep a hold of your flags as frequently as you might think. Flag hopping is a viable strat to an extent in this particular game type, just like what we're seeing right now. We had 4 people try and pull it back from Misanthropy, and they're all going to get wiped right now onto that C flag. So they ended up getting it, but they lost B in the process. Now they're going to be pushed back, and Powell as well as Osti are going to be in a really good position to go ahead and get that 3-cap once again.
Yeah, and looking at the scoreboard already, you're seeing Powell and Psyched with 7 frags apiece. Epic has 6. You got 4-0 for Knifey. Osti at 4-1, so just telling the story right there in the frags, as it's looking like Vivacity is jumping out to a huge lead here in round 1. Watching from Power's perspective, he's got the back rage, taking down Yeezus. Looks like he's going to try to move in to take out a couple more, as they do have the triple cap, and this is not looking good for Misanthropy, Brett.
No, it is not. It's 120 to 193. Vivacity has only lost 7 tickets, and that is really, really bad when you're this far into the match. 3 minutes into it so far, almost 100 tickets down. And I mean, really, Misanthropy, they have to be getting their frags. Right now, we're seeing them lose just about every one of their one-on-one fights. Even their 2-on-1 fights, where they have the majority of the numbers, they're still losing them. So, I mean, that's either just saying that their gun skills aren't up to snuff, or just Vivacity has that better of a gun skill.
Yeah, I think you know, having seen Vivacity play and played against them, I definitely can say that they are some pretty solid guns, and they have great teamwork together. They have pretty much a static roster of 5 to maybe 6 guys that plays consistently, and thus they have really great chemistry and teamwork as a result. And of course, when you get a lot of reps like they do, your positioning and your fragging starts to come with it, and it just looks like right now Misanthropy is just completely outmatched by Vivacity.
Yeah, they are, and as we saw there, some of the back spawns. One of the reasons why this map is not really liked all that much, it depends. I mean, what team you talk to. There are teams that love it and teams that don't. But as we saw there, Misanthropy got completely wiped off, and they had to spawn way, way, way back behind A flag. In fact, so far that Vivacity was able to shift all the way from C flag all the way back to A in order to respond to that. And now we're going to be seeing one left for Misanthropy on B flag to try and cap this out for his team. He ends up getting it grayed out, but is not able to get the final cap going on.
Yes, as we are watching from Osty's perspective, cleaning up things on B. Guys, I'm going to have to apologize real quick. I did have the overlay opposite there. I just noticed that I had Vivacity over RU and Misanthropy over CN, so I made that switch real quick. We are working with a really nice overlay system, stream control. Props to the Gaming Grids guys for setting this up for us. I think you guys are going to really like what they put together for you over the next couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. And still, Misanthropy not able to get any kind of purchase on anywhere on this particular map, and you know, it really feels like they've never really played this on this high of a competitive level. We're seeing some really kind of weird setups being used here. I saw a couple of support classes being used, and while support is not bad, I'm not bashing it by any means. The fact that you don't have a med bag or a med kit is huge. Being able to res yourself. Or not res yourself, but med yourself, as well as having some of the best guns that are available to you, really does hurt. And that's what we're kind of seeing right now in this particular matchup. We're seeing that the other classes that aren't running meds are getting completely outplayed here, and Vivacity is taking, you know, a lot of control over the map because of it. Now A finally goes back into the possession of Misanthropy, but with only 12 tickets left to go, and it's going to be flashing again, there's not a whole lot that's going to be swinging in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you made some great points there, Brett. And Vivacity is just looking dominant here in round 1. And you know, in tournaments like this where you do have the bracket system, you're going to see some lopsided games in the early rounds. But the thing is, you kind of get to see some of the contenders early to see what they're working with. And I think we can sincerely say that Vivacity is looking like a contender at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen in previous matches with them. In other series and tournaments that they've done very, very well for themselves. They're not, you know, by no means they're not one of the dominant teams consistently, but they have the potential to be one of those teams that can come out of nowhere and, you know, really put you on your back foot if you're not taking them serious every single time. You know, I would put them in the same category with Slap, Flot, and No Mercy. You know, those teams right there, they're not always the dominant teams on there like you would think, like Exertus NA, but you know, they will they're not going to pull any punches.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be a team that you can take lightly. You certainly will not be able to run through them at all. Although I do agree, I think they will have trouble with some of the really tougher teams, the top echelon, especially some of the European teams that we have seen signed up for this tournament.